Welcome back. We are going to work on this a little bit together. I had a couple of people ask me if I would do a little stitching on this, just to show that I say that it's easy and I'm using simple stitches, but they wanted to see it really, so that's what I'm going to be doing. I have put this little flower together up here. Now, this was a watercolored motif that I cut out of a piece of lace. Underneath here, let me bring you up so you can see that. Underneath here, I have just laid in little pieces of gauzy fabric, purple gauzy fabric, and some yellow knit fabric that was cut off a sweater. Okay, so that purple and yellow is just laid under that flower to create a bigger flower and to incorporate more of also the colors that are in here, the goldish yellow and the purple. And then this pink really sets it off, and it has the pink and the yellows that are everywhere in here. And I thought that was the best placement for the biggest flower, and also that's where the biggest flower is on this pattern design when I traced it. And I thought that was really good. Sometimes I put them down in this area, but I thought this worked out really well. And so what I'm just going to be doing now is I'm going just to be overcasting the outside of this center flower motif in order to secure it, and it'll be catching a lot of these petal elements underneath it, and that way I can keep them secure until I decide how I'm going to finish stitching those out. And let's see, I don't want to catch that under there, so let me pull that out of there somehow. Okay, so I'm going to have to go up and down so as not to catch these. All right, I'm going to do this pretty loosely because I can always come back and add more stitches on the center one, but I just want to really be able to catch those elements underneath. All right. This is an easy, even though it looks difficult, it isn't at all, especially if you're watching the other two videos. I'm just using 5 basic, very basic embroidery stitches. So, and it's just a matter of placing a little snip of fabric here and then just doing your stitching with your very basic stitches. Going to get this little bit of yellow here because it's a tiny piece. It isn't stuck underneath the flower, and so it'll fly away if I don't sew that down. Okay, so we got this one. Now we may be able to loop a little bit over here. There you go. Come up. Some of you that were a little worried that the greenish color that I put to the top left here was going to be too overpowering. Remember that when you're watercoloring, you want to have some darker, stronger areas and lighter areas because you want that shadow highlight effect. So figure out where you want your shadow, where you want your highlight. But also remember that in this pattern, there's going to be a lot of florals that overlay those watercolor areas. And so it's going to tone those down because the floral is going to be the main point. Okay, so this flower being rather bold looks really good now on this darker green up here, and it's not going to be overpowering. Okay, we're just overcasting, tacking down this flower, you might say, and in the process catching the little petals behind it, and that way they can stay there until I decide if I'm going to do more stitching on those and how. Okay. If any of you are interested in getting this pattern, the information is in the description. This is pattern A12. Okay. But, you know, you don't have to buy patterns all the time. You can sketch out your own. You don't have to be a full-blown artist. Just find a magazine picture of something you like and try to just sketch it out roughly, and then interpret that in a little fabric, little textiles, a little yarn, and just create your own things. But if you like to start with a pattern, well, I've been trying to make those available in my Etsy shop for those that are interested. Okay, we're coming around, we're catching, I believe, most of these elements. This one, you know, over halfway on this pattern already. Okay. Very basic straight stitch, just using it as an overcast stitch to attach this flower. And the color I'm using of thread is of a really light baby pink, so it is blending perfectly with that flower. You can hardly see the thread. Okay. Some of these little gauzy pieces of fabric underneath are going to have some kind of stitching to keep them secured because they are very delicate. And okay, we're back around where we started. Okay. All right. Let's just secure off this end. Okay, that's a pink. Let's look at perhaps, let's look at some bright yellow to pop the color out here. Let's do that. Okay. I'm going to try to get this through this needle. I don't know, I think I need another needle. You ever notice that some needles, though they're the same size, the opening, the eye opening, some of them are much more closed than others. Harder to get your thread through. Well, this one's really gonna give me trouble. Okay, finally got that one through there. It's a little bit, I'm using 4 strands, so it's a little bit harder to get through that needle eye because it's kind of a small needle eye. Okay, let's get this. I'm just going to use again a straight stitch in different lengths. Very simple. Its purpose is basically to hold it down, but it also will give it a little interest in the petal. Okay. Okay. Try to get 2 stitches in these smaller ones. And tuck this purple under there. Come out and catch it on the edge. Let's see if we can catch that one just a little bit under there. There we go. This one's a larger petal, so we're gonna go 1 down the center, 4 out, and then we're gonna come back and get 2 shorter ones on each side. Okay, we're going to do the same on all these that are larger. Okay, and because this one, the purple petal overpowers it on the other side, we'll just do 2 stitches, 1 down the center and 1 down this other side. Okay, now this one we can get definitely 3 in it. This one we're going to take that long stitch and break it up into a split back stitch to reach all the way out. Okay. And I believe we're going to have to do that on this one over here too. Don't like to make my stitches too long because they tend to get caught and snagged. Okay. All right. Now we'll just put a shorter one on this other side. Okay. 1 more yellow to go. See how that stitching has popped that yellow already? Okay. Now, let's see. We're going to come from inside that center, out here, to the edge. make a shorter one on both sides. Okay. Now I still have a substantial amount of thread on my, so I think I'm going to put some yellow French knots in the center while I have this needle threaded up here. See how many we can get out of the rest of this thread. It's 4 strands, so I'm gonna wrap it twice and see if I like that size. Whoops, almost pulled it out. I think I'll wrap it 3 times. Looking good, looking good. Just beginning to show up, not too bold. Don't want it too bold, but that texture in there will be nice. Maybe 2 more. Okay, 1 more. Got a little bit of fiber in there. Oh, doesn't that look nice? Okay. I like the way that looks. It's muted, but it's there and it's pretty. Okay. You notice that I don't tie off a lot of my knots. When I know I'm making something that I'm going to put in a frame, I don't tie everything because it's not going to move. It's not going to be handled. You know, I don't know what that is, but something. Let's put a stain on that, but which is good, is because it's out of the framing part. Almost looks like I stuck myself. Almost look like a spot of blood. Well, but it will frame outside, so it won't show. Okay, now inside the purples, I think I will do something, and maybe with a light lilac that might show up pretty in that purple. Let's see what happens here. Basically doing the same thing. Got it. Let's start up here. Let's take it out to the outside. getting around, whipping around something, aren't I? Okay, we might put more. So this is so gauzy that I think more stitches are needed to keep it in place. Okay, that looks pretty good, doesn't it? You want to see that up close? There you go. All right, let's go around here and do this one. Okay, this is going to be pretty long, so I'm going to break it up into a split back stitch also. Okay. All right. Let's take a stitch out from that, kind of like a leaf. Okay. One on the other side. All right. And then let's come back and get a second one over in this direction. Okay, I'm liking that too, and that's showing up nicely, that color. Very simple stitching, nothing that a beginner cannot do. Okay, that looking good, and that lavender really pops on that purple and brings more emphasis to this flower. Isn't it funny how with just the yellow sewn, the yellow was the focal point. That's what you saw. Now with this lavender highlight popping the purple, the yellow recedes, the purple comes up. It's just funny how color works and how it plays with our eyes and what our attention goes to. All right, this long one again, we're going to have to do the double. I'll have to do a split back stitch here to get out to the end, and also that helps me to be able to turn doing the split back stitch like that. I can turn that stitch easily. Again, I can use that like a leaf. I'll put that stitch in the little joining joint there. Come out here. And one on the other side. Even though there's not a lot out there, just kind of symmetrical. There we go, there we go. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, here we come down. The next one, and I believe I can get out here as far as I want to go with that. And then another one. Tuck it kind of underneath that little petal, yellow petal. And out here. All right. got 2 more to go. And this stitching is going to hold this flower down really well, and also adds that decorative touch. Okay, we got one more over here. Oops, I don't want to be in the yellow flower. Take it right there. Let's see if we can open him up just a little. He's kind of stubborn. Let's just tack him down the way he is. He doesn't want to be a petal. Wish to hide. Okay. All right, let's secure this off. I like to run it 3 different directions, slightly. Just tilting my needle in different directions makes it hard for it to pull out in any way. But no knot, just cut it. Okay, all right. Save all your threads. Don't throw any threads away. Those threads are gold when you want them. See, isn't this pretty? Wow. You never know what you might want to use that in. Okay. All right, that top flower is done. And now we're going to come down this side over here and see. I think we better right now. Got a couple of little petals in here. Decide how we're going to do those and then work this down through here. But I hope you enjoyed that. Show you just how put together this flower, the simple beginner stitches that are in there, but completes it very pretty. All right. Okay, I'll work on this and we'll be back soon with another episode.